What's up, everybody? Welcome to Charlie Bravo Outdoors, and today we want to discuss Easton FMJ Max arrows, specifically how hard they are to fletch. And the reason why I say that they are difficult to fletch is I have never had issues before fletching Easton FMJ arrows, period. Hands down, never have. Every trick that I had and that I know about fletching Easton FMJs, I tried on these arrows unsuccessfully. I also tried every glue known to man and every system known to man, and I could not get these vanes to stick. And these are just simple boning blazer vanes. And you're probably wondering, well, you got that one fletched? Yes, after about 30 tries. So I ended up talking to a friend of mine, and obviously I had tried a similar trick, scuffing the arrow using acetone, everything that I thought was the appropriate way to do things was unsuccessful. So I was at a loss, and eventually he said, hey, try this, use this, and you should be able to do it with just regular old glue. And so today, that's what we're going to be showing you guys, is exactly how to fletch these and how I successfully fletched these with goat tuff and some other stuff. So stay tuned. We'll go through it. We'll keep this quick, easy, down and dirty. That way, anybody else that's doing this on their own that may run into this issue will know how to remedy it. And the only reason I'm making this video was everywhere I looked, everybody constantly talked about Easton FMJs, specifically the old FMJs. And for whatever reason, I don't know what they did to these arrows, and I'm pretty sure they just changed the coating on these, but it became more difficult to fletch these than old Easton FMJs. So that's why we're making this video, and I hope it helps you. Stick along and learn something new. All right, so we're gonna get into the process for FMJ Maxes. So in the past for FMJs, I've used the scuffing method and acetone and never had any issues. But for some reason, like I said earlier, the coating on these arrows is different. So the key ingredients here, one of the key tools you're gonna need, well, let's start with everything that you're gonna need. Obviously, the vanes you're gonna use, your arrows, which are the FMJ Maxes, a fletching jig. You're gonna need Scotch-Brite, red Scotch-Brite, and then you're gonna need some lacquer thinner. And then the glue we're using is just goat tuff. So anyway, you can use whatever glue you want. This I just know works, and I've tried everything, and for some reason this is the one that seems to do the job. So anyway, that's what we're doing. So to start, you need to prep your arrows and your vanes. To prep your arrows, so what I do, I've already prepped those arrows. I've somewhat prepped this. I just want to show you how I do it. So you're going to start, you can remove the nocks if you want, but just pinch your arrow between your Scotch-Brite. You don't have to get too Western with this. And I'm going to turn this to the right, sliding my Scotch-Brite down and continuing to turn it to the right. I'm going to pull my Scotch-Brite back up. And what that's going to do is that's going to create like a crosshatch pattern, and it's going to give the arrow a tooth for the glue to grab onto. So do that, about 4 times. You will see the color of the coating change a little bit. It'll get dull. That's what you want. So anyway, don't go too far. You don't have to take it all the way to bare aluminum. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do there. And then now we use the lacquer thinner. So just get you a paper towel. I have some lacquer thinner put in this cup that I made. So drop an arrow. And then just wipe where you buffed with the lacquer thinner. Okay, so we did that part. Now just get yourself some cotton swabs, or a cotton swab. Usually takes about a couple. Get some lacquer thinner on your cotton swab, and then you're just going to wipe the glue channel of the vanes. All right, so we got that part done. Now we'll just get to fletching. So I like to line up the index for my knock with the label on the arrow just to keep everything consistent. I like to start odd vein toward the label, so I turn that so odd vein is toward the label. I have my clamp marked where I want the vein. I take the back of the vein where it meets the glue channel, and that's where I put it on my mark. So start with the front of the vein, get it in there, get it to where I want, set it down in there. All right, get yourself a piece of printer paper. That's what I have this stuff sitting on. And the reason why is we're gonna be liberal with this glue, and we're gonna use the printer paper to like spread out the glue. So, and then we're also gonna use a paper towel to clean up the excess. So just get in here. Don't be afraid to put a lot of glue in there. Some people say, oh, if you're getting a lot of excess glue, you're doing it wrong. Well, with this process, this seems to work the best. So get a good bead of glue in there. Then you're going to take this and you're just going to gently tap it on the paper. You'll see your glue spread out. Double check it, make sure all the glue's in there. That just helps the glue redistribute. So get your clamp where you want it. The bottle says to hold it for 10 seconds, but I like to do it for at least 60. So we'll sit here for a minute and then we'll just keep repeating the process. Pull your clamp. Now I just rotate this just a touch. I leave it on the arrow. I don't pull it off. I don't do anything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little drop just to the front of the arrow there. And then another little drop just to the back. So when that glue hardens, it gives it a nice little ramp on the front and the back of the vein so it doesn't catch when it goes into targets or when you pull them out of targets or when it goes through an animal. That way it doesn't tear the vein off. So then just keep repeating the process per vein. Now, I'm going to teach you a trick. So if you get a problem with like the glue sticking to your clamp or your veins, you know, sticking to the clamp because there's glue stuck to the clamp, just get you a little bit of string wax and just coat the edge, smear that back and forth on the edge. Obviously get the old glue off of there. This is not going to hurt the veins at all. It's not going to be like runny like oil or anything to contact the vein to make it not stick. This is just going to keep the glue from sticking to your clamp. So just get you a little bit on there and run it back and forth on the inside of the edge. Another tip, if you will. What the? right, so camera cut off mid-sentence, and anyway, I ended up having adhesion issues with a couple vanes during this whole process, and so I ended up cleaning the area up, buffing all the old glue off, and then reinstalling new vanes. When I went to reinstall new vanes, I noticed something with the brand new vanes as I was cleaning them with lacquer thinner. They have like a glossy sheen to them in the glue channel. You got to scrub them until that glossy sheen goes away, and you'll feel them kind of get tacky and friction build up with your cotton swab. So whether you're using blazer vanes, AAE vanes, whatever, make sure that you scrub those vanes thoroughly with lacquer thinner in the glue channel until they get kind of tacky. Then once they do, let them dry, and then whatever vane you're using, if you end up using, you know, a primer pin and glue, then apply the primer pin and then use the glue. So that seems to solve the adhesion issues that I was having. Again, you know, buffing the back of the arrow with Scotch-Brite and then cleaning them with lacquer thinner, that's also the ticket to these FMJ Maxes. I would recommend the easiest solution to this whole problem would be to wrap. But once again, the customer wanted these arrows fletched without wraps, so I ended up having to do it that way. And it's a little bit more arduous process, it seems, than the old FMJs, but that seems to be what you have to do. Again, you're just gonna have to buff them a little bit more aggressively and use lacquer thinner. Don't use acetone, because I tried that. I used alcohol and acetone and a multitude of different glues, vanes, everything, just to try to get something to stick to figure it out. And it seems to be this is the ticket. So hopefully that helps you if you decide to fletch the FMJ Maxes with just vanes and no wraps. So, you know, that's all I got for today. If you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, drop them below. If there's anything else you guys want to see, let us know. We'll make it happen. And again, from the dark timber to the high country, live free, live fierce, be bold. Charlie Bravo, out.